So I think young students, period, just need opportunities to be expressive. I mean, a lot of what happens in your life is a buildup. You know, it's a buildup of stress, trauma, you know, pain, situations that affect you, that you express in certain ways when you don't, you know, let it out, when you don't talk about it, when you don't feel about it. I think a lot of the challenges in our community with our students is mental health, you know, lack of opportunity for expression, lack of opportunity after school. I mean, we don't have these programs aren't being funded anymore. It's so funny. We talk about how defund the police has been such a really big thing, and how so much of, you know, the money is going into this system that's corrupt and that needs to be restructured, that needs to be completely abolished, and something new has to take a new system has to be built in order to incorporate different things that are very considerate and are fair to the people who don't really benefit from this system. And so, you know, a lot of times how I've looked at it is, you know, in education, a lot of times these students are in the classrooms and they coming into school, and, you know, that morning their water and their gas got turned off in their house, you know what I mean? And then they're dealing with toxic situations in the house, and then, you know, not really having any certain figures in the house that are guiding them, certain support. It takes a village to raise children. That's where the start is, you know? Parents have to understand, if they don't already, and most do, because, you know, I'm not a parent, so I'm looking at it from the lens of my parents and how they raise us. And so what I have learned from them is that it takes a village to raise a child, to raise children, period. And children need that support. They need those opportunities to experiment, to see people in positions and careers and life paths that are different from what they're just exposed to on this minimal level. And so when they see those things, when they have that village of support, when they do that, it's like you see a lot of times when students don't have that, they end up on paths that they feel like they were destined to be on in the first place, when in reality, you know, if they had this opportunity and this type of support, things could have been different for them. You know what I mean? And I remember growing up, I mean, there's dudes that I know that I went to high school with that, you know, are no longer living. And some of them is younger than me, you know, that was younger than me. Some of them older than me, you know what I mean? And there's dudes that I know that I grew up watching us in jail, you know what I mean? We from the same city, dude, but we just had different opportunities, different, you know, things around us and support systems. Students really have to have those support systems. It really takes a village. And so once, you know, there's that understanding, then it has to go mode. Let me build this village for you. Anybody who supports you, anybody who wants to put into you, invest into you, you know, be there for you, essentially offer you opportunities, because they see that I'm raising a child that has the potential, that has good system of morals and good things like that. Like children who need to be supported. Like, you know what I'm saying? You see a child, a black child, and you think about the things that they deal with on a daily basis. And so like the least you could do is provide them with a supportive, you know, living educational system. Everyone deserves that opportunity to come up and have teachers that care about them, teachers that challenge them, that push them because they see more in them, teachers that believe in them, that encourage them, that, you know, tell them about their history and their people and their heritage and what that happens. And a lot of times students just don't know those things or don't understand those things, or don't have access to those things. And that's really a big problem. But then also too, I think that a lot of times people feel disconnected to, like you said, the heritage, about kings and queens and things like that too. A lot of students come into these schools and they don't really learn about that, and they feel disconnected. But see, the way to bridge it is sometimes, the difficulty is, you know, when I was growing up in school, I don't think I really learned a lot about ancient African civilizations. But when I went to Morehouse and I was sitting in classes like that, I didn't really relate. I couldn't really understand. I didn't know all the countries in Africa. I didn't know, like, I felt like I was the dumbest kid in the class, when in reality, I just didn't have a certain understanding of heritage and community that came from, you know, that. A lot of people don't see how heritage and community comes from just being the city you from. Like, I think about how much I rep Philly, and when I went to ATL for school, like, Philly was my heritage. And whenever I saw people doing things that were exclusive to people who were from Philly, I took pride in seeing that. You know what I mean? I identified with that. I got a chance to see opportunities and perspectives that were different, so I could appreciate the one that was my home. A lot of students don't get that either. A lot of students, most of the time, most of these kids don't got no passports. They ain't never been enough. And all of these things are things and opportunities that should be allotted without having to worry about, I don't got no money for that, or I don't have an opportunity to send my child on a trip so he can expand his perspective and stuff like that. Those are things that I feel like in ways that parents should be supported in raising children, and teachers should be supported in helping in that process. You know what I mean? So it's just like, it's all a cause and effect. So many things. My purpose, my real point is that so many things affect these things. There's no real simple answer, no one answer. There are so many different ways that we could reform and change and restructure the system to help cater to students, to help make it better for them, to help make it easier for the parents, and to really provide opportunities for these students to really excel and to be pushed and to be challenged, but healthily pushed, healthily challenged, and to give them opportunities to be expressive and to teach them that it's okay to be emotionally intelligent and all of those things. There's so many different ways I could answer your questions, man. And like, I get so passionate, so like I just start rambling. So I just kind of want to wrap it up by saying like, yeah, it's just so many different ways that parents and teachers can be supported in this process and preparing young children for their adulthood journey, which is figuring it out themselves. Shout out to the next generation of Philly artists, man. I think that also too, like, we on the come up, man. We really trying to put us back on the map, definitely, man.